jeez.
At the beginning of the story, there was a man named Jake Sully who had lost the function of both his legs when he served as a Marine. Jake went to a bar, and after he finished drinking, he saw a man slapping a woman. Because he didn't like seeing that, Jake immediately fought the man, and because of the fight, Jake was kicked out of the bar. After that, Jake was visited by two men. The two men brought news about Jake's twin brother named Tommy. Tommy was killed by a man who robbed him of his money. Tommy was a scientist who had a contract to work on a moon called Pandora. On Pandora, there are many strange lives that are very different from Earth. Because Jake has very similar genes to Tommy, the two men offered Jack to work in Pandora in place of Tommy. Jake accepted and was sent to Pandora. After arriving, Colonel Miles explained to all the soldiers and people who had just been on Pandora that Pandora has many living creatures that are very dangerous to humans, and in Pandora there are natives called Navi. Jake meets a man named Norm. Norm is Tommy's training buddy. Norm and Jake will be in charge of controlling the Avatar. This Avatar has been designed according to Navi's DNA and also the DNA of its controller. This is Jake's Avatar that Tommy used to use. It's also the reason why Jake was invited to work at Pandora, because only Jake can control Tommy's Avatar. Because their DNA is very similar, Jake is introduced to a woman named Grace. Grace already knows about Jake, and Grace is not happy working with Jake because Grace needs a scientist, not a soldier. Grace then went to a man named Parker. Grace protests to Parker because she has to work with Jake. Parker doesn't care about that because their goal in Pandora is only to find unobtainium, a very valuable material. Then Grace began the process of transferring Jake's self to the Avatar's body.
Jake! Jake! Listen to me. You're not used to your Avatar.
Jake! Oh, jeez. Sorry.
Fast. Motor control's looking good. Come on, everybody, quiet down.
Welcome back.
A woman named Trudy brings Jake to meet Colonel Miles. Colonel Miles doesn't really like a Project Avatar, but because there was a soldier who did Project Avatar, Colonel Miles is quite happy. He also asked Jake to give him all the information about the Navi, and the Colonel also promised to give Jake an artificial leg. Then Jake moved back into the Avatar's body. This time they will go to the forest. They also found a small school, which was once used as a learning place for navies to introduce human culture. When Jake asked what happened at the school, Grace changed the subject and left. While waiting for Grace and Norm to take plant samples, Jake looked around the forest. Unfortunately, there is a large animal that is disturbed and will attack Jake. Grace tells Jake not to shoot because the animal has a very hard skin, and when it will attack Jake, Jake yells, hoping to scare the animal, and it stops. At first, Jake thought that he had scared the big animal away, but it turns out that there was a predator behind Jake that made the big animal run away.
Hey, why don't you bring back some of your friends, huh? So what about this one? Run, don't run, walk.
Jake managed to escape from the predator, but he also had to be separated from his friends. While walking, there was a Navi named Neytiri, who saw Jake and wanted to attack Jake, but because there was an animal blocking her, she didn't attack him. And because Grace couldn't find Jake, they were forced to leave Jake in the forest and return to the base. At night, Jake was surrounded by many animals, and fortunately he was saved by Neytiri. Jake asked Neytiri to take him to her place and teach him, but Neytiri refused, and suddenly there were creatures swarming Jake, and it turns out that the creature is the seed of the sacred tree. After seeing that, Neytiri invited Jake to come with her. While running, Jake was captured and surrounded by Na'vi residents. Jake was taken to the Na'vi nation. Neytiri's father forbade her to bring strangers into the Na'vi place. Then Neytiri's mother asked about Jake's purpose for coming to their place. Jake told her that he came to their place just to study. And Jake also told her that he was a soldier because he was the first soldier to come to their place. They allowed Jack to stay. Neytiri's mother also asked Neytiri to teach Na'vi culture to Jake. Jake woke up, and then Jake told Grace the whole story. Grace was very happy to hear that, and Jake also told Colonel Miles. Colonel Miles and Parker asked Jake to persuade the navies to move, because in their residence there is a lot of unobtainium material.
Naughty.
Neytiri calls me scoundrel. Norm's attitude has improved lately.
Yeah, check it out!
Jake learned a lot about Na'vi culture. When Jake was with Grace, Jake again asked what happened at the school. Grace is a teacher who teaches at the school, and one day Neytiri's sister went on strike. Neytiri's sister was angry because of logging. Neytiri's sister burned a bulldozer with her friends. The soldiers tried to bring them back to school, but on the way, Neytiri's sister was killed as well as her friends right in front of Neytiri, and luckily Grace managed to save some of them, and from then on the school was abandoned. When Neytiri saw that Jake was ready, Jake was taken to Ikran's lair to learn to ride the Ikran that would become his. Ikran is a bird-like animal that only obeys one person. Jake also learns to hunt while riding an Ikran. When he finished hunting, Jake was chased by a Torok. Neytiri told Jake that her great-grandfather was a Torok rider, and there were only 5 Torok riders before. Jake meets with Colonel Miles. Colonel Miles intends to end Jake's mission, because Colonel Miles will soon go to war with the Na'vi nation, but Jake asked Colonel Miles to give him more time, so that he can negotiate with the navies to move, and Colonel Miles allows it. Jake then performed the ceremony of accepting himself as a Na'vi nation. Neytiri takes Jake to the Sound Tree. The Tree of Sound is a sacred tree, which is a place of prayer for the Na'vi nation. The next day, Neytiri woke up and was shocked to see a bulldozer clearing the forest, and when Neytiri woke up Jake could not wake up because Jake was still using his original body.
Whoa. Dude, no! Oh!
Here, come on!
After Colonel Miles saw the footage and found out that it was Jake's avatar that had attacked his bulldozer, he immediately rushed to where Jake was. When Jake and Neytiri arrived, Sute was angry with Jake. They were also shocked when they heard that Jake married Neytiri. When Jake was about to reveal his secret, he suddenly fell down because Colonel Miles had awakened Jake's original body. Colonel Miles also decided to fight against the Na'vi nation. After seeing the video footage of Jake talking that the navies would not move from their place, Trudy came and told Grace and Jake that Colonel Miles was getting ready to attack the navy's home. Then Grace and Jake went to see Parker and asked Parker to give them time to negotiate with the navies. Parker allowed it, but Parker only gave 1 hour, and if it's longer than that they will attack the Na'vi. Jake comes to warn that the Na'vi nation is in danger. Jake also told them that his original intention of learning about their culture was just part of the plan, to get the navies to move out of their home, but everything changed because Jake fell in love with Neytiri. Neytiri, who heard that, felt betrayed. Then Jake and Grace were tied up. After seeing Grace and Jake tied up, Colonel Miles felt that the negotiation efforts had failed and ordered an attack.
You gotta be kidding me. how you scatter the roaches.
If you are one of us, help us.
Neytiri cries seeing her father dead. Jake and Grace fainted again. Because Grace and Jake had to be woken up and locked up, luckily, Trudy came to free them and get ready to escape by plane. Colonel Miles received a report that an airplane was on without permission, and after seeing it, it turned out to be Jake. Colonel Miles rushed out and shot him. They were happy because they managed to escape. But unfortunately Grace was shot quite badly. They also carry a place that can transfer their bodies to the Avatar's body, and hid it in the middle of the forest. After that, Jake went to capture Torque to prove that Jake was on Navi's side. And when the Navi Nation was gathering, Jake came riding a Torque. Jake asked them for help to save Grace, but unfortunately Grace was not saved. Jake spoke to the Navi Nation that they would fight against humans. Jake asked to call all the Navi Nations in Pandora to join the battle. At night, Jake prayed to the Sound Tree for help. Neytiri, who heard that, told Jake that the Sound Tree does not favor anyone but only maintains the balance of life. The next day, Jake and the Navi Nation prepared for battle.
Make no mistake, people. There.
Copy, get out of there!
One by one the Navi troops had to retreat due to attacks from Colonel Miles' troops, and Neytiri was also besieged by robot troops, and suddenly all the animals help attack. Jake's prayer was answered.
What has hurt you?
Time to wake up.
Jake and Neytiri went to Tsutei, who was dying. Tsutei asked Jake to be the new leader. Tsutei also asked Jake to kill him as a final honor. After that, the humans were returned to Earth and only a few stayed in Pandora, and the Navi performed a ritual to permanently transfer Jake's original body to the Avatar's body. And the movie ends. I will remind you that watching movies provide a much more exciting viewing experience than just watching the recap. And if you like this recap, you can like and subscribe, because by subscribing you have supported me to make even better videos. And thank you for taking your time to watch this video. Have a nice day.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.